Elevated Grapes Podcast.
Elevated Grapes Podcast.
With your host, Sethi.
Your host, Sethi.
And Stylist Rashi Bindra.
It's time to get started.
Let's talk fashion, shall we? All right, so welcome to another Elevated Grapes Podcast. I am your host, Sethi, and we got our lovely guest here, Janice, and the lady across from me.
I like how that was called, lady across from me.
You gonna introduce yourself, or are you gonna just?
I mean, people should know, and the fact that you said like lady across from me, I thought that you were going to introduce, but sure, I'm your Stylist Rashi Bindra.
There we go. So Janice, welcome to the Elevated Grapes Podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Janice, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do? I mean, like, we know you, but the world should know you, and the ones who sadly don't know you, they will know you now. So
Okay, so I'm the Director of Public Relations for Fashion Foundry. We're a marketing and PR company who also do like branding and manufacturing. So anything like from concept to creation, we do it.
I love that.
And we're based in Toronto, Miami, and Hong Kong.
So where did you guys originate from? Like, what was the first city you guys set up in?
It was actually Miami.
Okay. And then how did you guys move globally across Toronto and Hong Kong?
Well, we started with hair tools, developing and manufacturing hair tools. And it was a small thing with like my best friend, who's like my brother from like, we met when we were 17.
Were you going to say another mother?
Yeah, exactly.
You were.
A brother from another mother.
And I stopped,
Yeah, because it's cliche, right?
Yeah. But it works.
It works. So I actually had a party when my parents were away, and he came. He was in Michigan. I grew up on the border in Sarnia. He came, so I'm really happy that I got in trouble with that party, and we met. Because look at us now, like 20 years later.
And now look where you are.
Exactly.
So how did you guys move from doing hair tools to a PR firm? Because I mean,
that's so interesting.
It's different lines, right?
Yeah, so I was always involved with the hair tools. I was helping with promotions and PR and social media for them. Simultaneously, while I was with another company, I had another firm, Mixed Match Marketing.
Oh yeah.
Which is in
Sorry, what was it called?
Mixed Match Marketing.
Okay.
And my ex-business partner and I went separate ways. And
Sure.
that's like, you have to talk about your failures, right? Everybody fails.
Well, they're not failures; they're learning experiences.
They're learning experience. Yes, right.
Okay.
So,
and then from there, so then
I'm being honest.
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, so then from there, you guys started building Fashion Foundry into a PR firm.
Well, that didn't work out with my business partner with Mixed Match Marketing. So I was like, what am I going to do now? And Jeff, my business partner with Fashion Foundry, was like, oh, you know what? You're doing such amazing work and it's growing. Why not just branch off and we'll develop
Build
that
some
PR?
clients.
Yeah.
And so
aspect.
on the PR side, did it start in Miami first as well, or did that start?
It started in Toronto.
On the PR side?
Yes, 100%.
Well, there you go. So now, do you have PR? Did you PR work outside of Toronto or primarily in Toronto? How does that work?
I do. I ended up becoming a global publicist, which
wow.
I didn't intend to do, but I'm just going with the flow.
Absolutely, go with the flow is super important.
Yeah.
And you also represent someone on this table.
I do, Miss Rashi Bindra.
She does. I do get, messages from her daily, every morning,
3 a.m.
sometimes 3 a.m. or whatever, and then sometimes I get the you shouldn't have said that on the thing. Or do you want to do this? Or I don't think you should do this.
Well, that's what a good PR and publicist does.
Sure, but she doesn't always listen. But
No. Listen, we at this table know Rashi very well, and so we all know that there's, if Rashi wants to do something, Rashi's going to do something.
She's going to do it, and she's going to own it. And that's what makes her unique. And
that's what makes her Rashi.
Yeah.
And then that's where the rest of us have to come and be like, okay, now it's damage control time.
What do you mean?
That's where I come in.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. Yeah, I didn't want to put you on the spot. I don't know, Janice is like,
So there are times, I will admit, that I may act a little
impulsive.
And I'm very thankful that I have you to save me, and then I'm also very thankful for especially the South Asian stuff, for you to step in and be like, breathe.
Yeah, breathe.
Calm down.
Stop talking.
Yeah, pretty much. So I am very okay, calm down now.
Yeah.
But I'm very lucky that way that I have both of you, trying to control me.
So where do you see sort of Fashion Foundry going next?
I feel like there's just some like immense possibility with everybody who's eager to learn and come on board with us, and people seem to be interested, which I'm like happy about. People are always contacting.
Is your growth going to be primarily in the fashion industry, or are you guys looking to branch off or do anything different?
Right now it's fashion and beauty, but we're very interested in travel and tourism as well.
Well, you guys are global, so it would kind of fit right in.
It works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you guys represent any sort of men's styling or men's branding? You don't have to name them, but just I'm looking for a yes or a no.
Yes. And actually, you had her on your podcast, Cassandra Elizabeth.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. And she's gender neutral and the world's like comfiest clothing.
I heard a little secret that you guys go to the same hairstylist.
We do. Oh my gosh! And Julian is amazing. We love him. And Rashi knows him. Yeah. And so do you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it
up. Yeah, Julian.
You like your hair at some point.
Yeah.
Not today, obviously.
Not today.
But
hey, my hair looks fine.
Sure.
Looks great.
Nice necklace.
And
so,
drink. There you go.
Nice necklace, Rashi. So my...
What's wrong with my necklace?
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to interesting necklaces. So for those that are watching, or sorry, listening on Spotify, that was us drinking.
That was damage control.
That was damage control. Yeah. Janice stepped in at the perfect time, as she always does. So our show is quite heavily focused on sort of men's styling and men's fashion. So I want to hear your take on, because styling and fashion is subjective. So everybody comes in with a different perspective.
See, but I hate when you say that. I hate when you say that. It's not entirely subjective, because that's the problem. We say styling is subjective, and then you have people dressing like they're bums and they're homeless and they have no sense of style.
Sure, but maybe...
It's partially subjective.
Well, I think it is still subjective, because maybe it suits their personality, their lifestyle.
Are you telling me that people want to go somewhere and they want to see men who look like a parking lot attendant at a nice red carpet event? Like, that's their personality and their comfort level?
Are they dressing for you, or are they dressing for themselves?
So you're telling me I'm seeing a bum off the street basically in a red carpet event as an event planner? That's so insulting.
I didn't see you to like their sense of style. I'm just saying it's subjective.
But that's the problem.
But you could have an opinion where you think it's... Janice is like, what do I do?
I'm listening.
Yeah. She's like, do I get to speak?
Listen, I'm all for people being like, yeah, this is my style and I rock it and all that stuff. But at the same time, there's still some sort of... I would say the word guidelines.
Well, I've said in the past too, like, style is subjective, but again, there's style, and then you're just not dressing up, or you're not doing anything that's stylish.
But then the problem is people take that word, that style is subjective, and they put on those blinker thingies, and they only...
Sure, but we're talking about actual style. I'm not talking about someone dressing like a bum, or just like dressing like they don't, like, not what they know what they're doing. Like, okay. if you walk out and you take like, we styled a shoot recently. You could put together an outfit and be like, I like it the way it looks this way, and I could be like, well, no, it may work, but I like it better this way. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's subjective. I'm not saying like you're dressing like a complete loser who shouldn't be out in public. That's not my reference.
But that's how people would take it.
Well, then they have to get their shit checked.
Their shit checked?
Their shit checked.
You actually said the word shit on the show? I'm so proud of you!
I'm gonna bleep it.
I'm so proud of you, oh my god!
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Anywho.
So back to Janice.
Who's patiently... Beautiful,
I'm waiting.
Just sitting there quietly.
She said, oh my god, let me drink more.
Yeah, we got another bottle.
No, I believe style is subjective, but...
Hold on, please, hold on. Continue, please.
However, this is a big however.
Okay.
Big however!
Like when you're floral prints on Rashi's jacket.
Yes, when you're attending a red carpet event,
right?
It's a sign of respect for the people holding the event, how you show up, right?
Hold on, pause.
What?
Thank you so much for that. Oh my god, thank you so much for that.
So talk to us about that. Like, what does that mean to you? So your theory is that it's a sign of respect for the people that are putting on the event, or the people around. So what is what doesn't match that? Like what doesn't meet the criteria of respect from your perspective?
Okay, so the event planners and the PR and everybody involved, they go through extreme effort to make sure everything is perfect and to give the client like the most amazing experience, right? So if the invitation specifies red carpet event, that's just like courtesy and manners to put some effort into your appearance.
Absolutely.
Right?
So what is, to you, if you had to pick something, what is inappropriate in a red carpet scenario?
Ripped jeans. If they're not...
Nobody likes ripped jeans.
Well, I love them, like, normally, but, like, it depends. I actually see, this is where the subjective part comes in. It depends how you pair it. If you pair it with, like, fancy jewelry or, you know, fancy designer shoes that are your best shoes and your hair and makeup's done, I think it could be appropriate.
It could work, depending on how you put it together.
So it really depends on the person.
Okay, fair enough.
But overall, like, you don't show up with, like, dirty, looking like a slob. Like, you didn't put any effort into it.
Right. So I guess then is effort subjective?
I would say more that effort is subjective versus style. Like style.
Okay.
Because style is like expressing to everybody who you are before you even speak, right? Like that quote.
Right. So we had a conversation on the podcast about Kanye West.
Okay, I'm not a fan of Kanye's designs at all.
Which is fine. No one's going on. So which is fine. So would you say that his current style that's out in the market, or that he's portraying, is it effortless,
it's lazy,
or do you think it's intentional?
It's intentional, but it's lazy.
What makes it lazy versus intentional? Because those are two opposites, I think.
It feels like lackluster. It's not like anybody could do it.
What if that's what he's going for?
He is going for that, and I feel that that's lazy.
Okay,
but that's just my opinion.
No, but you know what? To your point is that I feel what he's doing is like, hey, I'm a name. I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want.
Like, look,
exactly. So I have money to burn, and I want to make sure like I'm in the news all the time. So here's like some beat up, tanks, and then we price them, $1,000 and $100 and whatever dollars, and there you go. And unfortunately, we have men who view that as like, oh my God, this is style, and this is what's in fashion now, and blah, 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 and it's a brand, and then he's doing it, and they start dressing like that, and it's like, dude, use your
bleep.
Please think a little bit.
But from a PR perspective, he's succeeding because it's about controversy, right? So a little controversy never hurt anybody, and it has us talking about it right now.
100%. It helps. I think it helps the industry overall too. But not that I suggest you go dress like Kanye, but
no. But exactly. Now again, I do understand that from a PR perspective, controversy sells. That's how people get to know you. But how much is too much? And that when that starts affecting the other aspects of your lifestyle.
You wanted me to come topless on our podcast.
Okay, that is because men have a crush on you and they're dying to see you topless. That's very different.
I don't know what guy.
Nobody wants to see me topless, so it's all good.
Yeah, so we didn't ask you to be topless. I'm just saying, you suggested for me to be topless.
I still go by that. Like, you should be topless, and since where Janice is sitting, our ratings would go right up.
Okay, we're going to have that discussion another time. Go back to your point.
Okay, anyways. Now you made me lose my train of thought.
Perfect.
Asshole.
Yeah. I get that a lot off camera.
But again, I do understand from a PR point of view why controversy sells. And I know sometimes the things I say do piss off people, but people still know me for who I am. But I'm also aware of when it's too much and when I should take a step back. But I just find that when people are viewing people like Kanye and that style, they just don't seem to see beyond the fact that at the end of the day, he's making millions and like billions. What he's doing is to get on the news. News that is subjective because that's what they want you to see. And here, full stop, that's not reality.
So he's a brilliant businessman, or his team are brilliant business people.
He's got PR people.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
And know what they're doing with him.
Yeah.
But he's also Kanye.
I'm gonna drink.
I'm not going to disregard his musical talent. I mean, as an artist, I feel like
we're not talking about his music at all.
But as far as fashion goes, I'm not a fan.
So let's go back to the fashion and let's drop Kanye. Kanye's been overexposed on our podcast now twice. So
we should get like royalties.
Yeah, we should get. Yeah, you imagine. Let's talk about your sort of favorite pieces on a guy from a styling perspective, not like just a fashion perspective. Blazers.
Blazers, I don't like the whole thing with the jeans and the blazers, like banker type style. I know it's super popular, and I know like men love to wear brown shoes, especially in Toronto, like taupe. Is that the word? Like taupe shoes paired with like taupe tan belt. I don't like that. I think it's cliche. Okay. I do love an old school like 70s or 60s suit with the skinny tie.
Yeah.
I'm more retro.
That's a really interesting take on it, because that is sort of the vibe in Toronto now. Is the jeans with the tan with with the blazer and the shirt. So what do you see? Because you get to work sort of outside of Toronto as well. What do you see as sort of the styles that are being portrayed out there that's different from Toronto?
It's different from Toronto. I feel there's, what is the word? On Ossington, if you hang out on Ossington, you're called
hippie?
Hipster.
Yeah. It's a hipster vibe.
Hipster vibe all over.
So is that something that you?
That's what I see around, like,
outside of Toronto.
In Miami.
So is Toronto to you prissy? Is that the right word?
This is a whole other topic.
I'm talking about from a men's fashion standpoint. We're not talking about people.
I'm still drinking.
Yeah.
And I'll keep my opinions to myself.
No. I asked these questions partially because I know your opinion is going to come out.
I like a manly man.
Thank you.
So I do feel,
just had a moment.
I do feel style nowadays overall is leaning towards men being more feminine, and I feel like I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, say it.
I don't like when I'm going to be, if I was in a relationship with a man who takes longer than I do to get ready, because I feel like we're gonna fight for the bathroom.
Well, you can get you can get 2 washrooms or 2 sinks.
Yeah, that would be okay. But or man buns, I'm not a fan at all. I mean, they look really great on models. They do in the editorial.
Yeah.
See, my only thing with the man bun is that overall, I'm not a fan of it.
But
overall,
some people can really.
With some people, they have a way of carrying it where they still look manly and rugged, and you're like, damn, I just want to do you right now. That I'm okay with.
Can she say this?
I don't know. It's partial. This is half her podcast as much as is mine. So I don't really know what to say to that.
I'm just saying, right?
That's going on a soundbite.
I'm just saying that. So
I'm also gonna make a meme out of it.
But my point is, to your point, Janice, is that I do agree with the whole men being manly. Yes, I do not necessarily love long hair on the majority of men. The very few who do have the man buns, they have to have that ruggedness. Like, you just want to go like on them, you know.
Well, actually, I do want to say there's a model. You know, Tyson really pulls off the braids.
He does.
Yeah, he does. He totally.
And he looks very manly.
Yeah.
Can we put up a picture of Tyson in the podcast? So
I have to ask Tyson for that.
Okay, as long as he's okay with it. Tyson, be okay with it.
So Tyson's the exception.
There's only one exception in the whole world, and that's Tyson. Listen, Tyson, you're getting a lot of coverage on our podcast right now, so you better let us show you a picture.
I'm gonna word this very, very carefully.
Since when do you word anything carefully?
Well, because he's our partner, and he's like a brother to me. So I have to be very
Pat. Yeah,
Pat,
exactly. He also looks
Pat
amazing.
can look great with the little ponytail and the man bun.
I told him I'm a fan of his ponytail, not his man bun.
But I can see him rocking the man bun and looking very like manly doing it and not looking feminine. And which is why I said I have to word this very carefully, because he is like a brother to me, and I just want to make sure like that's been stated and clear. So when I'm saying like that rugged manliness, someone like him with the beard and the man bun will still look like a man, not like, you know, a girl. Basically.
Okay, so let's dig deeper on the man bun topic.
No, the man bun.
So typically you see the man bun paired with a beard. Typically.
Typically.
What's your take on the man bun with no beard, naked face?
I don't like like men without beard. I just
in general.
don't. No, but like in general, like
Yeah, so in general, for you the beard
like
is important.
beard.
I do.
I'm not like it doesn't. Like, I'm not talking about the length, but like in general, you like facial hair.
I think, and I've realized this, like, as we get a bit older, you don't want a teenager next to you. Like, I want a man to look like a man. Like, for me, it's not, like, I'm not a very superficial person. For me, like, a lot of things, I don't care about your physical appearance on many aspects. Like, for me, it's your personality is what I am.
Our previous podcast would disagree with you. I can give you more sound bites.
Okay. My personal, in terms of being in a relationship with someone, I'm attracted to your mind. I'm not attracted to your physical look. But if someone had to tell me, well, you know, there's that one thing about a guy, like when you see him right away, besides, yes, being well dressed and not being a bum, because then I will not talk to you, it is your facial hair.
She does. She likes to talk to nobody. Because every podcast, she's like, people I don't want to talk to. She's like, I will not talk to you if you're wearing this. I will not talk to you if you're dressed like this. I will not talk to She doesn't talk to anybody. So I don't know who her friends are outside of people on this table.
But that's so funny because she's very sweet.
She's so and sociable.
Right?
Like she talks to everybody when we're on events. So I don't know who she's not talking to.
I am not talking to guys who do not dress well. I'm sorry, but guys, come on. If you want to talk to me, step it up. If not, go away. It's that simple.
Wow.
There's lots of men, like, you know.
So for you, facial hair is important on a guy.
Yes, I like
as
men
part of
who
the
have
look.
beard. Yeah.
Janice, what's your take?
That I don't really have. I like clean shaven and I like rugged beard. Like or what's it called? Stubble. I like.
So at what point is the beard, from both of your perspectives, too long?
When you can braid it.
But we all have friends that can do that, but they still rock a good beard. I feel like there's an inside joke here. What am I missing? Whose beard did you guys braid?
It's
not a reference to anyone specific.
I feel like that's a lie.
Okay, how about...
So someone's beard has been braided, and we're not going to hear about it.
I'm going to break it down.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Okay,
that's my answer.
How about you? What do you like about women? Women's style.
I love her. This is why
she's PR.
And this is why we are like very, very, very close and best friends.
Perfect. And she's PR, and she's doing her PR work.
So what do you like about women, Sagar?
Everything. Women are fantastic.
That's a very, very diplomatic answer.
And also a very true answer.
You could be riddle on this podcast, like stop being boring.
Sure, but we're not, okay, so we're not, I mean, okay, fine. If you want to talk about it from a women's fashion perspective, for me, it's every body size is different, every style is different. So you gotta, just like on a guide, like you gotta know your body style and how to work your body style. And just because you look one way doesn't mean you can't look good in clothes that you wear. It's just you gotta know what to wear and how to accentuate your features and your personality, right? So a lot of people, and guys do it too. This is not gender specific.
But that again is a very neutral answer. I think what Janice was asking you, just like how you asked us, what do we find attractive in a guy? What do you find attractive in a girl?
A girl that doesn't have a beard.
Besides that, obviously.
I don't like beards on women.
Listen, we shared it. Step up.
I'm sharing my thoughts.
You know, step up, be a man, do the right thing, and tell us what do you find attractive in a woman.
Oh my
Girl.
I'm actually, so interestingly you bring that up. You guys both look fantastic today, but I'm a fan of straight hair. Straight long hair. Yeah, that's for me. Straight long hair is
sleek.
Yeah. I just like the look. I mean, like, no, it can have the waviness. It can have like the volume or whatever the case is. But for me, straight long hair.
So basically, let's take a very unattractive girl, as long as she has like straight long hair.
No, you can't put butt ugly in front of me and expect me to be like, "Hey, what's going on, girl?" It's not gonna happen,
dude. You know.
Yeah. So longer hair and no facial hair are two very important. Very important.
So okay. So for all the ladies who are listening to this, if you have long straight hair, and thankfully and hopefully no beards, then you can send them a DM. I will probably check the DM, but there you go. Listen.
Everybody grows hair, so if you need help with the facial hair, I'm sure Rashi can put you towards some people.
I will, absolutely.
She has some contacts.
100% I do.
Yeah.
But again, if you do decide to send that DM, please keep in mind, I will check that DM first. I will read it, and then I may delete or forward it to you. There you go.
Can we get back to Janice now?
Yes, I did. There you go.
Are we done with my interrogation of facial hair on women?
We're just looking out for you, right? Right, Janice? We're just caring about the stupid women that you date. That's all. Come on.
Why are the women that I date stupid?
That's a whole different podcast on that.
Okay.
Going forward.
Shout out to all my exes. You're not stupid.
Rashi's here. There you go.
You're not stupid. I got respect for all of you.
Yes. Well,
this is a different podcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what is happening. Janice, you show up and sort of all these interesting, weird conversations happen.
I seem to have that effect.
Yeah.
It's the hair. Like, look how beautiful she looks.
She does look good.
Thank you. Thanks to Julian LaSalle.
I love him.
I love him. He's so talented. He did our hair for Kafa. He worked 10 hours without any break, and he did not complain at all. He was always happy.
He is.
That was really cool. Like the precursor to Catherine, like the whole getting ready thing. You put that together, Rashi. So thank you for that. Yeah. So you guys both put that together, and it was a lot of fun because you got to really get into your groove before the main event.
We didn't really sleep much before that, did we? We were running around so much to get that happen.
Yeah, but I think like getting ready is like half the fun, right?
Yeah.
Well, especially with your friends and the people around you, and like and the close people, like it builds that experience.
And it
then it
builds
flows into the night.
relationships, which is what PR is based all
and you got
about,
some
relationships.
And you got some really, really cool pictures that day at the hotel too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I saw that one shot on the roof.
Yeah. So the one with you and
Kate.
Oh my God, with the dresses, like epic shot.
I know that looks like very editorial.
So nicely done. Okay, so back to men's fashion, not about my dating life and women's facial hair.
Or mine, but go on.
Why am I here?
I don't know what's happening today.
This happens.
No. This has actually never happened in any podcast. Not to this extent. A little bit of bickering here and there and bantering. Yeah. What's one thing that you, if you were to look at from a guy's fashion or styling standpoint, that you just can't stand? Like this, like no guy should ever do this. I feel like this conversation's happened.
Go on.
There's a bit of a pause right now.
That I can't stand.
Yeah, like what is like? Don't do that ever.
From only fashion, purely fashion.
Sure, let's start there, because usually these conversations lead to somewhere.
Ooh, I know.
Okay, there we go.
I do not like Birkenstocks on men. And even worse, Teva sandals. You know that style, like the plastic shoes with socks.
What's that other one?
Worker socks.
What's those water sandals? Is that the same one? Like a rubbery material? Is that the same one that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh God, worst.
The worst is when guys do sandals with socks. Is like, please, go on the street. And beg.
And the socks that are molded to your toes.
Ew!
Like gloves
toe
for your
gloves?
feet. Yeah.
I hate those.
Don't they call them toe condoms? Is that what they're called?
Hey, you are going in a whole different direction right now.
So toe socks, yeah. Terrible.
Let's just stick to toe socks.
Toe socks are literally like. So where have you seen those? I've seen them only on like Instagram. Like they show up. I'm like, no, delete, no more.
I'm gonna say this, but it's really, really bad. I'm from Sarnia.
Oh really?
And there's a lot of like toe socks.
Toe socks in Sarnia?
Sandals with shoes.
Sarnia, what's happening with your toe sock situation?
So the other day I was at
But it's a great city. It's a great city. Yeah.
I was at H&M and this guy in front of me.
Oh my God, we posted this on our Instagram.
Yes, we did, because I'm terrible like that. So
she sent me this picture. I'm like, story it now.
So guys, please keep in mind that I will not be visible, but if you are dressed forwardly, I will take your picture and post it up on our Instagram account, and then make lots of fun of you. So this guy in front of us had like sweatpants. First of all, you should not be wearing sweatpants outside your house. These baggy sweatpants, and it's like really hot. High socks and sandals. Yes, that was terrible.
I just want to say something. You do realize that some viewers may say, "Oh my gosh," and critique everything that we're wearing right now.
Please comment below.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Yes, because I would love to hear our viewers try and put our amazing sense of style there.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a quick break for a quick message and come right back. Hey guys, we're taking a quick break just to remind you where you can find our podcast online.
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Tunes.
Apple Music, but you know it, you call it Apple Tunes.
Whatever.
Right. You can also find us on TuneIn, on Google Play, and of course Instagram when we do it the first Tuesday of every month.
And Facebook here and there.
Here and there.
Here and there.
So thanks for tuning in, and now back to our podcast. Okay. So sorry, you were saying about our viewers what?
Our viewers would like love our style. Like, look at her. She looks gorgeous.
She looks incredible. She always looks incredible.
Of course. Like, who didn't possibly like put that down? I look great. And it's me. You know. And then there's you, men's stylist. So we look awesome.
Okay. I'm glad that we're all complimenting ourselves.
Of course.
Confident.
Exactly.
So should we do rapid fire round with Janice?
We should. So before we end off, let's do our rapid fire round.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Are you ready?
Okay, ready.
I don't even know if I have questions, so I'm gonna think on a whim. Okay.
Okay.
He's actually thinking.
I am. Favorite color blazer on a guy. You hate blazers in Toronto. I hate blazers. Blazers suck.
Black. I'm just
Actually?
I like black.
We're gonna. That didn't happen.
Why?
We're gonna ask you to choose another color.
No, you know what?
No, I wanted to think.
But it's nice that she said black. It's classic.
Okay. First, pick black.
Okay.
Second, pink.
Okay. So if not the tan and brown shoe, or tan shoe or brown shoe and belt combination, what would you rather choose?
I like Oxford shoes. You know the ones with like the two tones, like
Yes.
kind of like 20s style. I
Yeah.
like those a lot.
What's your thought on the penny loafer?
The one where you could actually put a penny in there with
Yeah.
laces or no laces,
No laces, like a slip-on.
depending on the guy. Yeah.
The ones I'm wearing right now. They're falling off my
Actually,
feet.
yeah, they're cute. They're cool.
I love penny loafers.
Yes, you do.
I lost my train of thought because we were talking. I had like two other questions, but now I forgot because I was talking about penny loafers. See what happens? Now you got to give me a second because I don't usually do this. Janice, you made me lose my train of thought. I'm usually very good at this.
Usually, but it's Janice.
Okay, so floral shirts on a guy, yes or no?
Yes.
Big floral. I'm not talking about like your.
He's trying to ask you his Thompson shirt. Is that a yes or a no? The
I
one
don't know
who
if
did
she's seen
Thompson.
it.
Hold on, I will show you a picture.
Okay.
This is not rapid fire anymore. This is just.
But I feel like he could wear basically anything and get away with it.
That's the problem. He wears basically anything.
And I get away with it.
Hold on. Here we go.
Not just get away, but like
This.
So does that mean we have to post this picture now?
Yes.
See?
What do you think about that? He's asking you about that shirt.
No, I really like that shirt.
Thank you.
It's very deep.
I do not
D&D.
hate your shirt.
You hate it.
I love your shirt.
You critique it every chance you get.
No, you have worn this before. You just style it a lot better. Is all I'm trying to tell you.
All I'm trying to tell you is when Cassandra was here and you talked to her after the show, all you were talking about how hideous my shirt was.
No, I said that you brought up my floral shirt that time. I said, "Oh look, it's the same big floral."
Well, I was just pointing out a fact.
Anyways, go on to Janice, our guest.
Yes.
Thank you. There you go.
Okay. The skinny jean. The ones that are like, the
No. I'm not sure how. I'm on the fence. It depends on the man's body type.
Good answer.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there any last words you want to leave off about Fashion Foundry, about sort of yourself and like sort of your role in the fashion world that you'd like to share with everybody at Elevated Grapes? Because then we're going to ask you where they can find you online.
Okay. Well, I feel like Fashion Foundry is like the perfect bridge between the Canadian and U.S. markets. I feel like to be a successful entrepreneur in Toronto or Canada, in the Canadian market, you have to have sort of one hand in Canada, Toronto, say, and one hand in the U.S. Okay? So this is just my take on it.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like designers in Toronto really need to have access to funding, and because it's so expensive to produce one line and to do a show and to get press and everything involved with that. So if you cannot play in the game with everybody else on the global scale if you don't have access to the proper tools and equipment.
Okay, so the show's not ending yet because you just touched on a really interesting topic. So what kind of tools are those? Like how does someone who has a line and is trying to build their brand, their designer brand, what are some of the advice or things you can give them as things to think about?
Well, okay.
I mean, don't give away your trade
Firstly,
secrets.
No. Firstly, I think people underestimate how important PR is. You need an advocate. You need someone pushing for your line and being at the forefront and having like all the connections to magazines and different media outlets. You need that. You need those relationships that have been cultivated over years.
Absolutely.
You also need funding, like grants, government grants. So look into that. Build your website. Designers talk to me all the time about, so we showed, we have some press, now what? You need sales, you need orders. You need to be in the stores.
How important is it to get international or global exposure even to grow just within your own city?
Coming back to the example about Drake, I mean, it's common in music. Artists always leave Toronto, and this is something that even I had to do to earn any reputation in Toronto.
Right.
I had to leave to go to Miami, get some published work there, do some events, and then people suddenly respect you more. It's not that you've
changed or done anything different,
or anything different. It's just your location.
Yeah.
So having done that and seeing like successful music artists or even designers, I 100% believe that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like Toronto seems to think that, Canadian designers have to stay in Canada. You should be proud to promote that you're Canadian and on a global scale, and just like take aspects of that and make it your own, like Canada Goose, right? They play on Canadian climate.
Yeah. And they're a global brand.
Right.
I agree with that. I mean, I also agree. I also think that Toronto is still very heavily focused on titles and your image. I mean, Janice, like since we've met and the incredible things that you've done, I think regardless of that, we have always been in touch with each other. We've always wanted to work with each other, and we've been growing with each other. And for me, that's never changed. Whether you did stuff in Miami or you did stuff here, it's just how we
connected.
Exactly. And the problem is that, again, going back to a conversation we maybe had on another podcast, is that the only problem I have with Toronto is that it's so cliquey, it's so about titles, it's so about status. And I feel that the minute that mirror shatters, there's so much amazing talent here, there's so much amazing people here that we can actually be better than New York City. I truly believe that.
That's a big statement.
No, but it's very true. It's very, very true. Because
it's not to say that there's enough talent here to do that.
There is so much talent here. It's ridiculous. There's so much talent in like Canada. There's so much talent in Toronto as well. For some, and again, I'm not from the city. I'm from Montreal. I moved here 5 years ago. It's been a huge difference. But again, very unpopular statement. I'm gonna say this, but Toronto people, you guys have a stick up your butt. Get it out. Enjoy yourselves. You know what I mean? Like, let the walls down. Not everybody's out here to like get you. Some people are nice because they are nice in general. Let's drink, let's enjoy, let's grow, and let's all make money together. It's okay to do that. It's fine.
There's sort of a weird competition aspect that you feel in Toronto, but that you don't feel in other markets. And
So you could speak to that a little bit because you're in other markets. What's the differentiating factor? Because we had this conversation with Cassandra a little bit too. What's the differentiating factor to you from here to other parts of the world that you work in?
I feel like in other parts of the world, people are more open to collaboration and more open to pay for services. In Toronto, maybe, I don't know if it's the flooding of the industry, that there's so many people willing to work for free that people don't want to pay.
But then, Janice, that goes back.
Do you think it's a flooding, or do you think it's people don't understand the value in it?
No, it's not about not understanding the value. It's about, from my experience, it's about the whole, like, it's a title. It's a status. Because when you, like, whether you are getting paid or you're working for free, if someone's thinking, oh, but this person's a stylist, this person's a PR, blah, 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 and that's all they care about.
It's perception and positioning.
Exactly.
So you have to position yourself accordingly.
But I really feel that that's what Toronto only cares about. Like in Montreal, I could go and I could say that I'm a stylist. Their first question to me is, how much do you charge for your services?
Right. They're
Whereas in Toronto, there's none of that.
And that's actually the weirdest thing, because Toronto is a very entrepreneurial city.
Yeah.
And you would think that their first question would be, how much do you charge for your services? While like Montreal is more artsy, right? You would think that there would be a flood, but that's not the case. They've actually gotten, they value what you do more so than people over here. And that's very interesting. That's a little sad as well, but that's also the reason, and again, very controversial statement, one of the reasons why MasterCard Fashion Week does not happen anymore, because MasterCard pulled out their sponsorship, right? Toronto lost at that point in time a major sponsor for their Fashion Week. Mm-hmm. Montreal lost it after years and years and years and years and years, because they went through their changes, mm-hmm. right? But Toronto, being a city of business and having Montreal designers would not showcase in Montreal, they would do it in Toronto because people were buying here. Sure. That's why you had World Master
There'd be more World Elite,
Fashion Week, right?
MasterCard World Elite.
And that's why that was there.
Yeah.
So that entire shift happened, and right now we're all in the city because everybody feels like those 5 people that we see on Instagram and those 5 people that we meet at events, they will get us somewhere, but they're in the same boat as we are.
No, I feel like you really have to be your own road wave.
But that's the thing, though. But most people don't.
They
feel that,
don't feel that,
right?
Yeah.
Like they always feel that they have to follow the path versus taking the hit to stand up.
Mm-hmm. But you're saying follow the path in terms of the local cliques?
Yeah.
But at the same time, those local cliques are the same brands that you see over and over again.
Yes. There's definitely repetitive,
right?
Yeah,
in all the magazines, the same people over and over and over.
Yeah.
It becomes stale and stagnant, right?
So do you think it's just difficult for someone else who maybe has something unique and something different and has something new to offer to get in?
I do and I don't. I feel like you have to connect yourself and surround yourself with people with the similar vision. For Fashion Foundry, we love to work with new talent. We work with students and give them a chance. We want up and coming talent in our pool because we don't want to become stagnant. Right.
But see, like, you guys have that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking about sort of the cliquiness in the city and how certain groups always stick together and they always promote the same brands, which is, I mean, fine. Like you're gonna work with people you trust and you have a relationship with. That's normal in any industry. But the openness to bring in new talent, or the openness to bring in a different, unique perspective, is that a challenge? I mean, one of the things we talked about in the past podcast was some people find that as a threat.
Well,
is that fair to say? Is what's happening in the city?
Exactly, but I feel like competition is healthy.
Yeah,
it pushes you to achieve your best.
But that's
unless you feel like you're going to be knocked out.
But there's nothing wrong with that, right? And again, think of it as a sport. At some point, there's team sports. At some point, you are on your own. You have to be very secure about your talent and what you do. And you have to also be secure when you are in a team environment that your entire team is winning. I personally, and this is from experience, I cannot name names, but my PR person is sitting right here.
You can name names.
She gave me the go ahead. She'll just bleep it out afterwards. She'll be like, you can't let her say that.
Until I was growing, there were a lot of people who were like, oh my God, you're so amazing, you're so talented, do this, do that, whatever, but we can't pay you, but do this and do that. Now I'm at a point where I can demand a value for my services. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not bragging, but I'm confident in knowing what I bring to a client. Now, those same people, where are you? Why am I not working with you anymore? Why are you not paying me for my services anymore because, yes, I'm aware you see me as a threat. I'm aware that you will take my ideas, my concepts, and spin them off to what you can do. Quality is different. And the best part is I actually don't get mad anymore because anybody
it's a compliment.
here's the thing. The way I see it, anyone can have a blueprint of what you do. But what you bring, no one can do.
That's specific to you.
No one can do that. And that's the same thing with Janice. What she does as a fashion PR global icon, no one can take that. And she's had her challenges of certain people trying to be PR and they're really sucking at it. But and I'm just being very honest. And I hope that person does not hear this podcast, but the way she does it and how she has built herself just in the past year to get those relationships. I know what we go through sometimes when we work with each other to get those people. So it's not easy, unfortunately.
It's the hidden behind the scenes, that people don't really.
Of course,
talk about,
but again, so you don't see that in other parts of the world where you're working?
No, I feel like they're very on board to try and help you. You mentioned, I'm in PR and I'm from Toronto, I'm from Canada. And they're like, oh, Drake. And they really want to they're connecting you. They're which the same night, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to meet you. I'm going to connect you to this person and this person. But then
do you think that, let me rephrase, it's because you're also maybe not as, they have their cliques. You're gonna come in and be like, oh, this is the new person. They're gonna bring something new. So let's offer them some help. Let's extend a hand. Let's connect them.
No.
What if you raise to a certain point? You're like, well, now she's a threat.
No, I don't think they view it like that. They're all about the bottom line. They want to make money. They want to succeed. And if someone's talented,
that's a smart way to look at it,
right? It's I feel, and I believe smart business people feel that there's room enough for everybody, and everybody has value.
Right. Yeah, healthy competition, like we've all said over and over, it's amazing.
That's really great.
As long as it's healthy and you're not being.
And it's what you make it. I mean, you can cap your success by yourself and say oh, there's no room to grow, or you can just push through it and create your own way.
Absolutely, and which I think both of you guys are doing very well.
She is at a whole different level, so.
No, there's no levels, right? We're all colleagues.
Yeah, and I'm very glad that we work with each other every day, and we do that our messages in the morning and through the day, and
first message is her, last message and first message is Rashi.
I do sometimes. I'm aware that I come off as a little bit annoying. I'm aware.
No, it's not annoying.
But also, I have so much that I thank you very much for that. Yeah. So much that I want to do, but I also know that she is the only person I can do it with.
Right.
Because I don't feel insecure when I'm talking to Janice about this event, this idea, or I'll say to Janice, I want to work for this matey over there. That's it. That's all I'll tell her, and she'll tell me, get this done first. Send me this, send me that, and then we'll talk.
Well, yeah, we build it.
And I love that.
Because she gives you the process and how to get there. Which is awesome.
But
and likewise, I'll be this might sound really stupid, but I'm just gonna put it out there. And she's like, it's not stupid. No.
Well, but that's the whole purpose of the relationship, right? Is bouncing ideas off of each other so you guys can grow. Mm-hmm. So where do people find you online? How do they get more information on Fashion Foundry, on Janice, on the world that you're involved with?
Okay, so Instagram and Facebook is Fashion Foundry Official. And there's also another one now that we just changed to differentiate. There's Fashion Foundry Official PR. That's us in Toronto.
That's awesome.
And my personal account is JJ Foxy. I give that because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I
your Instagram is really
fashion.
Cool. Yeah. So there's a lot of fun stuff.
And Foxy is my dog. It's not because I feel I'm Foxy.
I was gonna ask you that. Where did Foxy come from?
You know when you create an account when it first opened. It first started, and I just kept it. I like it. Yeah, and some people
and it works for you. It works for you.
Yeah,
I like it too.
It's cute.
Cheers to JJ Foxy.
Cheers to JJ Foxy.
So thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course, Janice.
So fun.
I think we should do the next one with Janice, in Miami.
Yes.
That would be kind of cool.
So on that note, thank you guys. Toronto, please get that stick out of your butt, because everybody that I've met who work well, we're all not from here, so there's something wrong with you guys. Please work on that.
You're a Torontonian now.
I don't fully I've not fully accepted that yet. My number is still 514 for a reason. And anyways,
I'm a 416.
We will
I'm a
see you
416 too.
guys. We will see you guys at the next podcast.
Cheers, guys. Thanks so much for joining in.
Thank
guys.
you.
We have one last sip left. Hey guys, thank you for watching that podcast or that video. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more of us and see some of our behind the scenes stuff, subscribe below.
Yes, hit that little red, button thingy that's over there and hit subscribe and keep following us for a lot more cool, fun stuff.
Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you soon.